to the first Seattle Parks SM Diversity Park Ranger hiring event. Hopefully everyone had a chance to enjoy some food here in person, and also like to thank the audience online as well. And hopefully you're comfortable at home in your home office and looking forward to this event. So as we go through this event, what we've done is taken up a few questions from the audience, and questions have been submitted for our panelists here. And what we'll do in the beginning, I will allow each one of our panelists to introduce themselves. And also I want to make note that online, this program is captioned and also being interpreted in American Sign Language as well. So I'll take a moment and let our gentlemen introduce themselves, and I'll just go to my right here.
Thank you, Tyrone. Good evening, everyone. My name is Markeith Blacksher. I'm the Parks and Environment Director.
And my name is Marlon Teeters, and I'm the Security Manager for Seattle Parks.
Good evening. My name is John Hanga. I'm the Emergency Management and Park Security Manager.
Thank you, John. And also, AP, hopefully you're online. You can hear me as well, if you would like to introduce yourself.
Sure, absolutely. Good evening, everyone. My name's AP Diaz. I'm the Interim Superintendent for Seattle Recreation and Parks, and happy to be with you this evening.
Thank you. So with that round, I'd like to thank the panelists for being here, and looking forward to your questions and my questions and your answers. AP, I'm going to turn it back over to you for an opening statement, and then what we'll do, we'll follow up with the Q&A questions after that.
Excellent. Can you all hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Perfect. Well, first of all, this is such an exciting time. I want to thank you for coming out this evening to learn more about our Park Ranger program, what it is, what it means at this time for Seattle, and really to highlight that this is an exciting time for our park system and for our city. If you know about Seattle parks, we have approximately 500 unique assets around the city of Seattle that encompass pocket parks, urban environment parks, natural reserves, beaches, lakeshore areas, urban forest, a variety of play centers. And really, we like to think of ourselves as the heart of the city. And so many people in Seattle love their parks. They're precious. It's a unique asset that we have. And I think more than ever, we've learned coming in and out of the pandemic how important parks are to the health and wellness of a city. When the entire world was shut down and sheltered, the one place that remained open and available and vital were parks. And I'm looking forward to working with our team to amplify the narrative that parks are essential infrastructure to a city, just as important as bridges and highways. And so as we endeavor to make these park spaces the best that they can be for our city, it's important to lean into the theme of safe, welcoming, and accessible parks. And that's what we talk about here in Seattle. And that's why we're here tonight. We're looking for participants to join our team, to be active partners in the Park Ranger program as we begin to grow it out and spotlight what this it means for our city right now. So the Park Ranger program is really at an inception phase of growing and getting stronger. You can see one of our Ranger team members on our stage tonight. We have a few in our cadre that work with our security team, our park ambassadors, people that are on the ground every day in our park system to be welcoming people so that we can really reach out to one another. And what's new about this program and what we want to highlight here tonight is that parks really thrive when they are active. And the more that parks are active, the more that they're safe. And activity comes in a variety of forms. Sometimes in an urban environment, it might be social interactions, games, music, special festivals. In more of our urban settings, we might actually take recreation into the street and do programming that uses activation through recreational purposes. And then in some of our more regional parks or our areas along the coast or the lakes or in the forest. That's where people want to go to sort of get away from the city and get into nature and have times to run or meditate or have a picnic and enjoy their family. And what we envision for the Park Ranger program is a well-balanced group of individual people who first and foremost love parks and are passionate about what they provide to the city and who are excited to join us in this messaging that parks are the heart of the city, and we're looking for individuals that love parks and want to help carry that message forward. We also want to empower all of our employees to realize just how important they are in service to the city. A lot of the encounters that people have when they come to Seattle, when they come and visit, whether they're residents or tourists, or they're coming from other parts of the city or the suburbs or other parts of the state, they often interact with our parks because our parks are attractive. They're among the top 10 what to do things in Seattle, usually involve 3 or 4 park sites. So it's really important that when individuals get to the parks, they first and foremost see a park system that's well maintained, that's clean, that looks inviting and attractive, and a place where you want to go. And that's why our Parks and Environment Division, our director, Markeith, is here tonight. That's what he and his team do every single day. The second prong is people want to feel like they belong and that there's no exclusion. The great thing about parks is they require no special status or membership. They're open to every single person in the city, regardless of where you live. So we're really working to make our parks more equitable in our parts of the city so that people get away from thinking that in one area you'll find more well-maintained or better activated parks, and in other parts of the cities you won't. And we're trying to rewrite historical injustice and working hard to do that. But we also want people to feel like they can go to any park in any part of the city, regardless of where they live, and feel welcomed. And lastly, that there's a sense of security among public safety. We want to be able to take our children to parks and to feel comfortable and safe. We want to know that our aging parents can meet in the park by themselves and enjoy serenity and not be accosted by individuals who are out to disrupt, right? We want to know that we can join our friends to play at Cal Anderson Park under the lights at 10:30 at night, and that it's going to be a family-friendly, safe environment. And so our rangers also lead out on this system of education of our park code conduct, enforcement of our rules, and also just ensuring that people have a welcoming face also. We envision rangers to be accessible, very much a part of the parks, that they're working, getting to know the public and reaching out. And so that's a snapshot of what our program is. There's a lot more we'll be talking about on the panel, but I just wanted to give you a high-level overview and to tell you welcome. Thank you for being open to learning more about what a park ranger is, and maybe even sparking a passion and a desire to become one of our team members. And we're really excited too, because we have a funding to hire initially up to 26 park rangers, with plans to eventually grow even more. And so today is the first step in this process. And I just want to thank our entire team at SPR, and particularly our HR division, as well as our Park Security Services team, who have really worked very, very hard to make tonight possible. And very proud of all of you, and look forward to tonight's panel. Thank you.
Thank you, AP. Myself being a transplant, Pacific Northwest 21 years, and I think about community and how beautiful the Pacific Northwest is, this continues to be a key component to have, like you said, families and community and feeling safe, and having our kids and our youth participate and be excited about the parks, right? Whether you're wherever you're from, how large your family, where your kids go to school, right? Building that community, right? So I think it's a key part of the equation. So thank you again, AP. And I think you kind of answered the first question for me, put you back on the spot, because the first question was, what is the city's vision for the new Park Ranger program? So I think you may have answered it a little bit, but if you have anything that you want to add to that, I'll give you a second. If not, we'll go into the next question.
Yeah, thank you. I think let's go into the next question because I spent a little bit of time there, but I think you heard the vision of both our department and Mayor Harrell, who has been a champion, as well as members of our council for really increasing our funding to do more and to have the ability to hire. So yeah, thank you.
Great, thank you. So Markeith, I'll put you on the spot next. And the question that we have is, what type of authority will the park rangers have?
So, thank you. The Rangers are going to basically operate under 3 pillars, and that's education, engagement, and enforcement. Their role is to create a safe and welcoming environment for folks that come out and use the parks. So,
Thank you. John, I'll ask you the next question. What parks will the Rangers be assigned to, and how will they operate on a daily basis?
Thanks, Tyrone. The park rangers will work in pairs, either on foot, bicycles, or vehicles, depending on the location. And they're going to have 3 different shifts. The 3 daily shifts, we have the first one starts at 6 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. The second shift starts at 8:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. And then our third shift starts at 10:30 to 9 p.m. And then the Rangers will either have a Sunday to Wednesday work schedule or a Wednesday to Saturday work schedule. And then they will be, this year in 2023, the park rangers are going to serve the downtown district. And we have 22 parks in our downtown districts. I'm going to list those parks for you. So the rangers are going to be serving Myrtle Edwards Park, Denny Park, Cal Anderson, Tillicum Bay Place, Bell Street, Victor Steinbrook, Union Square, Hing Hay Park, Donnie Chin International Children's Garden, the City Hall Park, Occidental, Colby Terrace, Freeway Park, Westlake Park, Little Saigon, Pioneer Square, Lake Union, Plymouth Pillar, Counterbalance, the Urban Triangle, Cascade Playground, and then the Denny Regrade Off-Leash Dog Park. And then we're going to have 2 hubs that we are going to create, and the Rangers are going to be serving 2 hubs that we're going to create at Cal Anderson Park and City Hall Park.
Great, thank you. Marty, the next question will be for you. The question is, what type of training is required for a park ranger?
Thanks for that question. So we're going to have a 6-week in-house academy for the park rangers, where they're going to gain a lot of the skills that they'll need to become effective park rangers. They will need to fully perform and grasp the concepts around educating, engagement, and enforcement of Parks Code. We plan to do our in-house academy with a number of partners, and I'll name a few. We're going to be partnering with SPD, the SPD and the 911 Communication Center, and with the Washington State Criminal Justice Training Commission. Really what we're hoping to do is give people the skills and the understanding to do the job correctly. We'll teach them some skills and systems to support them and the body of work that they do. We will talk about the Parks Code and Code of Conduct, which we have in SPR, and critical skills for dealing with people in parks. Some of the things that we'll teach the new recruit park rangers, like I mentioned before, we're going to be doing Parks Code, the required Parks Code compliance, de-escalation, and management of aggressive behavior, They'll be first aid and CPR certified. They'll get some excellent customer service skills, cultural competency, and anti-bias training, and how to engage the public of Seattle. And then, we're going to do a bunch of things during that 6 weeks. Some of it's going to involve doing ride-alongs and getting some experience from people who are already doing the job, developing some navigational skills, and really, how to address people so that they want to comply with our parks codes.
Great. So it sounds like anyone that applies to these positions, if you don't have experience, feel comfortable that the structures have been put in place to support you fully to be successful in the position, right? That's what it sounds like.
Well, we're going to be doing the 6-week in-house training, but I will also add that there are a lot of other trainings that we'll do throughout the year. The parks SPR does a bunch of trainings, and we'll do continuing trainings that will enhance the skills that people have in this position.
Great. Thank you. So you can pass the mic back to John. We'll go back to you. So you're on the hot seat again here. So the next question is, who can apply for these positions? And we think about, again, qualifications or age, right? I work in a community with younger adults. So, we're talking 18 and above, or what is kind of the set for applying for the position?
Well, Tyrone, you could even apply for this job. So anybody with a 1-year experience in Parks and Recreation or related field, or 1-year experience in security as well, or even a combination of training, experience, or related field to that can apply for that. So at least you have a 1-year minimum experience, Parks, Recreation, security, or related field.
Great. Thank you. So
We'll look for your application.
all right. So the next question, Marian, I'll ask is, are these positions full-time or part-time positions?
So they are full-time positions and with all the city benefits.
Full-time and full benefits?
Yes.
Great, okay. And currently, right now, can you speak about how many positions that are open? I don't know if someone mentioned it earlier, maybe someone said it, but there are actually being open positions right now for park rangers?
Excellent question. So right now we're going to hire, our first wave is going to be, the total will be 8. So we'll send 8 through our initial academy, and then an additional 13 to total 26 eventually at the end of 2023.
Great, thank you. AP, hopefully you can hear me okay and everyone online. The next question I would like for you to answer. Department officers when responding to illegal issues.
Great. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Excellent. So, park rangers are going to be patrolling in our parks, focusing on our park code. So in the city of Seattle, we have our own rules of conduct and regulations for our park system. And our park code delineates the types of activities that park rangers will be focusing their efforts on. Some of these include drinking in public, amplified noise, off-leash dogs, vandalism, other sort of nuisance activities going on with the park system. Park rangers are not sworn law enforcement authority, and therefore they will not be required, nor will they be asked to respond to any acts of violence that at the police level requires intervention from the Seattle Police Department, who is the primary area of responsibility over our more serious crimes. However, I will state that our park rangers will be trained and equipped to have direct communication lines to our park system, to our police department, to our fire department, should there be an event or an activity going on that requires an EMS response, paramedics, the fire department, We want to train our rangers and have close collaborations with our public safety partners in the city to ensure two things. One, that our park rangers are equipped to access immediate resources when needed. The same way that if a park ranger comes on a water system that's malfunctioning, or a community center that has been vandalized or appears to be in some form of disarray, they will have direct access and training on how to contact someone in our facilities division after hours, how to contact people in our parks and environment division. So we're really going to equip them with an array of tools to be those sort of first line ambassadors, responders, and people who intervene to find the right solutions if they can't handle those situations themselves. But second, and really important, is for our own park ranger safety. It's important that when we place park rangers in the field, that they feel safe themselves, that they know their limitations, that they're trained on how to do proper responses and how to make referrals. So the ability for both is really important. And I just want to highlight what the park rangers are and what the park rangers are not. And lastly, let me just say that on some of the positives, park rangers are not just meant to be enforcers of the code. There's these 3 E's that we talk about. There's education, engagement, and enforcement. Education engagement is the interactive nature of being a park ranger, talking to people, greeting them, welcoming them to the park. If they see somebody might need help with something, offering service. Is there something we can help you with? Looks like you might be having trouble finding your way to the parking lot or to the park ambassador stand, or looks like you may have trouble getting your bag across the street. Can we help you? So very much an interactive process. We also want people to be there and to have a welcoming sense, and to know that our park rangers are there primarily, first and foremost, to be sort of this, we use this term ambassador, but really to be a representative of our entire department in the field, in the park system. So that's the role of the rangers.
Great. It just sounds like it takes a lot of collaboration, right? A lot of information in the right places for everyone to be aware of how things are being addressed, whether it's criminal activity or cleaning of the park and maintaining the park, and using all the resources to remediate any issues that may be in the park at the time. So I think it's very thorough. I think it's a good indication of the success of the program. Once everything gets started, we hire for those positions. So we're looking forward to that. So the next question, Markeith, I'll ask you, and it will be, how can we get park rangers to patrol in my neighborhood?
Okay. So as for now, the park rangers can only patrol downtown. This is due to an agreement with the SPD, the Policemen's Guild. That agreement has been worked on and negotiated, so we hope to have this program changed, or this situation changed, where they can patrol in your neighborhood. As for now, if there's any concerns or issues, we suggest that you dial 911.
So those conversations are being
held.
held right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the expectation is by 2024, if I'm correct, that we'll be able to patrol outside of downtown.
Good. Thank you. So the next question, Marion, will be for you. And the next question is, what is included in park ranger training? I know you alluded to that a little bit earlier, but if anything specific you thought may have left out.
Yeah, so I have
You're
some
pretty thorough the
yeah,
previous
I have
time.
some
So.
specific answers for that. So management of aggressive behavior is a really a super important one, and it's exactly how it sounds. You're managing somebody who is aggressive, and so being able to do that is a key skill to have, and so everybody who goes through the program is going to be an instructor level management of aggressive behavior instructor. Yeah. Then they'll have crisis intervention training. Initially, they're going to start with an 8-hour training, but highly encouraged to get that 40-hour training. dealing with people in crisis. Defensive driving, parks code enforcement, and operations and field work. So,
Thank you. John, next question will be for you. How will SPR work with SPD when cooperation is needed? And I think AP might have answered some of those questions, but again, if you have anything you want to add to that.
Yeah, no, good question. We want to make sure that the park rangers have the proper equipment and the resources to be able to contact the right folks, especially if they need assistance. So the park rangers will have direct communication with the new Seattle Communication Center, which is the old 911 dispatch center of Seattle Police Department. But they'll have direct communications with Seattle Communication Center through their 800 megahertz radios. So they'll be able to contact the communications center if they need assistance or if they need to call out the fire department or anything like that. But they'll be able to have direct communications with the dispatch center.
Great, thank you. AP, I'm going to direct the next question to you if you can hear me. And I know this has been kind of a big concern for Seattle over the last several years, even more so here recently, as far as related to our parks in downtown Seattle. But the next question is, how will park rangers deal with the homelessness crisis?
Thank you. Excellent question. An important topic for our city and our parks. The city of Seattle has a robust program through our Unified Care Team, which is a multi-pronged approach to dealing with individuals experiencing homelessness in our parks. Park rangers do not clear encampments. I want to be very clear about that. Park rangers will be able to contact campers and ask for voluntary compliance. But this will be after a very concerted approach, working with many other individuals in our city and in our department to follow the rules and protocols that we have to as a city when we are dealing with homeless encampments and parks. There is a prescribed rules and procedures, legal requirements, and so it's really important that we work through the Unified Care Team to ensure that we're doing proper outreach, enabling resource connections, and then ultimately protecting the integrity of our parks. But our park rangers will have a system of reporting illegal camping that's going on within the parks or any other issue that they see, and then will be trained and supervised and work with internal resources to properly follow the channels for encampment abatement within parks.
Great, thank you. You all have been so thorough answering the questions, so I don't know, you all have to give us a little bit of grace, but I know some of the questions might seem redundant, but we want to make sure that we get them answered and make sure that everyone is able to speak about if any additional comments. So the next question is going to be for you, Marquis. It's kind of a two-part question.
Okay.
So the first part is, how will park rangers deal with violent crimes as a witness? And then the second part is, how will park rangers defend themselves? And John, this may be why I don't qualify right here to answer this question.
Yeah. So, first part of the question, in most cases, if the rangers witness violence, they're going to dial 911. They are certified as first responders, so they can respond in the case that there's a medical emergency. And defending themselves, that's where the training comes in, the 6-week training, the specifics Marlon shared earlier.
Right, as far as being able to de-escalate any issues,
De-escalate,
to fight against physical contact, right?
Yeah.
Right, it's key.
It's not to engage in violence is the first rule.
And I think that's overall, obviously, very important to our community, right? As far as being a witness and being able to have resources to, in case of emergency, and making sure that people respond accordingly. So I think that's very important, and we need to make that be kind of the top line of this conversation and main to sustain it, right? So the next question is going to be to Marion. And hopefully I pronounced this right. So next question is, will park rangers carry Narcan?
You pronounce it just right.
All right.
And one of the things that I didn't answer when I talked about the training is the specific training was that Rangers will be getting first aid and CPR training, and this will be a part of that ongoing first aid, first responder training, and carrying Narcan will be part of that. And I can tell you that the Narcan that we carry is meant to hand out, so it's very easy to use, very user friendly, if you may, and that's that's what we'll have.
Great. So the next question, Markeith, I'll ask you. And I think, again, this is obviously very important as well. When we talk about qualifications and people that are working and have potential to be park rangers in the future. And personally, I work in the school district, right? And we work with kids of all different backgrounds and different cultures. And we try to give them information to know what positions are available. We talk about college and career readiness and bringing information to them and making sure they see people who look like them, right? To build that confidence and be willing to apply for open positions. So along those lines, Marquise, this question is, will park rangers look like me?
So that's a good question. And the answer that I can provide, the best answer I can provide, is that our HR team is working very hard in this recruiting process to find people that represent the community that they serve. This is one of the events, this is one of the first events that we're having to represent that. So this is a great step in trying to find a diverse and inclusive team for our Rangers.
Thank you. And as John, I think, John, you mentioned earlier, right? Everyone, this is an opportunity for everyone, right? So we want to encourage everyone to share the information out there and get as many applicants as we can possible to apply for these positions. So with that, we're going to have, I'll ask AP for a closing statement. And then after that, we'll have a reception for everyone here in the building. And then for those of you online, thank you as well for participating. And hopefully you were able to hear us as the questions and answers were given. So AP, if you don't mind, if you would give a closing statement.
Thank you so much. Thank you, colleagues on the stage, for providing some more insight and background and answers to the questions that we're trying to create tonight. And we want you to leave tonight with a feeling of excitement, curiosity, a desire to learn more. This is the first of many conversations. Our HR team has been working really hard and has an avenue for you to find follow-up questions. And no question is too small or should not feel unright in asking. It's okay to ask questions about more about safety and to learn more exactly what this program is about. These are real life concerns, and we want you to feel good about it if you are thinking about applying. We also want you to have a heart for community service and a passion to make this city better and to grow with us. I wanted to share with you one of our, and you might have seen it floating on the screens, we've done a mock-up of a potential badge and patch, which carries the tagline "Seattle Shines," which is the theme for our department. And really what that means is that no matter where you work in the city of Seattle, and you can see it now, and no matter where you work in the park system, we envision and believe that our parks are the shining part of the city that spotlights creativity, diversity, equity, that connects communities and culture together through the park system. And even in Seattle's rainy and cloudy days, our park system still shines through to provide that respite in those places of comfort and the ability to get out and away from the stresses of the city and daily life. So we're leaning in and leading on that. And our park rangers are going to be a shining example of the best of the park system. And we look forward to you potentially one day joining our team and helping us grow this pivotal program at a pivotal time for the future of Seattle. So I want to thank you so much for coming out, and please learn more, chat with people, follow up, and put in an application if you think this is the right job for you. So thank you so much, everyone. We're super excited for this.
Thank you, AP. Again, thank you everyone for being here in person. Thank you everyone for being online. I want to thank our panelists. I want to thank Jefferson Recreation and Parks and everyone who put on this event. And again, I think we'll have some success making sure that people have the information to apply for these positions. Thank you.
Thank you.